and welcome once again to another video review for the Wind and the Willows series. Bit of an anomaly, this one, in terms of the seasons. This is Mole's cousin, which isn't really set at any particular time of year. So it's a bit unusual in that sense, so I had to put it somewhere, and because there aren't as many summer episodes as in other seasons, it just felt appropriate to put it here. I love this one. It's from series 1, so very early on, and it's written by Rosemary Anne Sisson. So we haven't reviewed one of her scripts in a while, although we did do Piper Gates of Dawn recently, having said that. So let's dive into it. I'll just press play right now. So, Mole's cousin. I met Rosemary Anne Sisson a couple of times, and she spoke fondly of this one. She's got fond memories of it, and when I was looking through some scripts and things that she let me have a look at, it became obvious that this was a favourite. There were kind of episode lists and so on, and she'd always put, "Oh, this is a particular favourite of mine." So, and I think it's largely due to the new character in it, Auberon Mole, Mole's actual cousin, of course. And I like this one. The funny thing with this one is I had a book of it before I'd seen the episode. I remember there were, I don't know if any of you got the storybooks that were brought out, adapted from the series. I think there were about 12 or so of them, and Mole's cousin was one of them. Now look at these titles, very unusual. So we haven't, like I say, haven't got the typical seasonal setup. We basically got replicas of the photos, the poses are seen in the title artwork, and then a lovely little illustration of each of the characters' homes. I just really like that. And it's a nice little montage here. And the way it's introduced is it's introducing Mole's friends and how they relate to Mole, and Mole inviting them around to do various activities at his home. Shirley is a fairly social creature, but as the narrator says here, visitors didn't come from outside until Mole gets this letter. And I don't mean the postman. It's come from outside. It's an exciting letter. And I love this episode because it is, like I say, early on. It's from series 1. It's got that kind of look to it where the animators are still getting used to the characters. Obviously they've just done the film, but the crew on this is, we've got Chris Taylor as director, who went on to become an associate producer of the series later on, and his animating team was Marge Graham and Andrea Lord, who started on the film. And Marge Graham, I don't know much about her now. I'd love to know where she is now, but she left Cosgrove Hall and came back years later, I believe, and then I think left when it became Cosgrove Hall Films. Andrea Lord, of course, stayed all the way through and became a costume maker. I worked with her on Rupert Bear and Postman Pat. I've mentioned this before. You see that reflection in Letters' house of the river. We assume that's the river water kind of reflecting onto the wall. I think that's such a lovely touch.
Yes, don't get many of those, Mole, I dare say. Now my correspondence.
And also the one with this episode is I also feel that the actors aren't quite as developed as later episodes. I mean, that's only natural, isn't it? But similar to the film, David Jason, for instance, hasn't quite captured the Toad that we really know and love. The Toad it's just got a certain edge to it in these episodes. It's fine, it's just a very different Toad, I think, to the later one. And similar with Ratty and Mole. I think what it is it almost, I don't want to underplay them, but it's almost as if they are actually reading the script. It sounds like they're just reading it. Don't know, just maybe that's just me. It'd be interesting to get your thoughts on that, but it's just got that feel to it. But what I think why Rosemary Anne Sisson's fond of this one is the character development of particularly Mole, all of them in a way, but certainly Mole. This is a real episode centred around Mole and the relationship he has with his cousin. And this opening scene is all got this clash between Mole and Toad of class. And Toad just won't believe that this Auberon Mole who's visiting his soiree is the same Auberon Mole who is Mole's cousin. He just won't have it. And then almost Ratty can't believe it as well, but there's almost like a snobbiness that Ratty and Toad have. Oh, if he's a famous literary figure, how can he be Mole's cousin? You know? Undermining Mole. And this is very rude of Toad here, where he's saying he can't possibly stay at Mole End. It's like, how do you feel for Mole? It's like, oh, Mole, as Ratty's saying, Mole End's a lovely little place.
No difficulty with that, eh, Mole?
But already you can see in the animation, it's beautifully done. You can see that Mole's a bit put out already. He's a bit taken back. He's already thinking, why can't he just be himself? You know, why does everything have to be adjusted for this visitor? And it's a shame, you know, that the Mole's all excited at the beginning by his cousin coming to visit him. It's so exciting, and now the others are making it feel almost like it's so important that it's going to take the enjoyment out of it. This episode also was the soundtrack to it was released on LP. There were 2 LPs released. I've got them behind me actually, if you can see them in the cabinet. The glow of the light makes you can't really see them, but there were 2 LPs released. One of the soundtrack of the film, and when I say soundtrack, I don't just mean the songs and music. I mean the snippets of dialogue, essentially an abridged version of the story, with linking dialogue by a storyteller called Robin Holmes. And he did the same for 2 episodes, and I believe, according to Keith Hopwood, the plan was to release many more, but for whatever reason they didn't. I don't know why, but they just did the 2. They did do 2 others, but they were released on cassette with the storybooks. And there was you can see behind me, there's a book and a cassette here that I managed to find on eBay sealed of those other 2. So the original 2 on the LP were Mole's Cousin and Louise's Trap, and the other 2 with the book were The Open Road Again, which was actually retitled as Alfred and the Caravan for the cassette and the story for some reason, and the Grand Daniel Show. Grand Daniel Show I'll be reviewing quite soon actually. So there's Mole in his dinner jacket. He doesn't look happy though, does he? He doesn't look comfortable, and the others are not kind of hiding the fact that they don't think it's fitting that well. And it's interesting that Badger's involved as well. I mean, he had to be really for the story to really work. Almost the 3 of them against Mole. But they're there as friends. They want to support Mole getting ready. Now, this delightful song I first heard in another episode, the Yuletide Entertainment. And die-hard fans will know that that was Mole singing it in the Yuletide Entertainment, and in this version it's of course Ratty, Toad and Badger singing it to Mole. Basically it's a song about, you know, you've got to have style, you've got to have a little bit of it, not just be a stick in the mud. You've got to have style, whatever that may mean. There's many ways of showing style. And what I love about it is that, you know, the fact that Mole, as you'll see after the song, he kind of thinks, no, this is not on, this is not how I want to be, I'm not going to be someone else, I'm going to be me, I'm going to be Mole. And it's a really strong message. And I think that's why Rosemary Anne Sisson loves this episode, and I do. I think it's got a really strong moral. You know, it's about be who you are, and things will work out for the best, as we'll see when Auberon arrives. So we've got... I love that dance with Toad and Ratty. Really nice. It's got an edge to it. It's not perfect. Even Badger has a go. I mean, when do we see Badger dancing? I think only in this episode. And it's what I love about it as well, it's a montage. We go to all the characters' homes. So it's lovely. It's lovely that the song just continues in this montage, and Mole remains with his dinner jacket. And he's listening, to be fair. Mole is listening, he's taking it on board, but he's not... I love that, doesn't like the wine. Talking of drinks, have a sip of coffee. Thirsty work. Now the other thing about this song is I believe, I don't know for certain, but I think Rosemary Anne Sisson contributed lyrics. And I never asked Keith Hopwood directly, the composer, but I think because this was one of her episodes, and I've got some lyrics written out that she let me look at, I believe that she wrote them, or co-wrote them. Certainly the case with the open road in the film. And it makes sense, you know. So this is Mole really losing it.
Take me as I am. He can
Which is so unlike him. He's so against his character. So this show he's really aerated. And this animation doesn't quite work. That throw down of the jacket. A bit ropey, but never mind. It can't all be perfect. So Mole has made it very clear he will take me as I am, or he can go away. And there's this Rolls Royce showing up, and anyone with a keen eye will know straight away it's actually Toad's Rolls Royce, but they're just reusing it. So he happens to have the same car as Toad. Well, it would have been daft to build a whole other car just for this scene. Now that music is a lovely kind of jazzed up version of Mole's theme, which is available on iTunes, have a look, and on CD, the original version. This is a lovely faster version of it, I really like it. Now Auberon Mole, lovely character, he pops up in a few other episodes, voiced by Howard Lloyd Lewis, and sadly no longer with us, of course neither is Richard Pearson, but a wonderful performance. There's a lovely, it's so well cast, he's got a lovely warm voice, and we can see already Mole's feeling a bit on edge, a bit uncomfortable, a little bit cold. There's a coldness between them at first.
I expect you'd like to see your room.
Mole's been very blunt, you know, your room, and
I once wrote a poem called The Spare Room.
but of course their relationship develops. And now Mole's feeling really out of depth. Lovely animation, especially with Mole's eyes. I love the way he blinks. Very gentle. As a friend once said to me, "Oh, it's a shame Mole's such a simple puppet," and he is in some ways. But I think, you know, you wouldn't want him to be any more complex. He's got those lovely cheek joints. So you get wonderful smiles out of him, and yes, the eyes are simple. It's lovely. And Mole's, of course, so the same model, same armature. Look at his costume, isn't that beautiful? Auberon Mole's costume exists in the archive, the Cosgrove Hall archive today, so that's nice to know. Love images of that. And this to me, it just feels iconic, this, of Mole and Auberon sitting by the fire. I think because I just distinctly remember these images in the book. And there's a lovely coziness to them. They're both wearing slippers. You've got all the muffins, tea cakes and things around them. And that is a big part of what the Wind in the Willows sums up for me. Coziness, warmth, friendship, chats by the fire, whatever the weather outside. When you see scenes like this, it almost feels more suited to winter, because you want the fire on obviously in winter, inevitably on in summer. And then we dive into another song. Very, very unusual to have two songs in an episode. In fact, there is no other episode apart from the Yuletide Entertainment, which features a few songs because it's essentially a performance most of the episode. Apart from that one, any other episodes with songs, there's only really one song, really. Saying that, no, Fancy Dress, that's another one. But they're quite lengthy songs as well. This one's over 3 minutes long. And it's a lovely song, it's lovely and gentle. It's wonderful, it counters, you've got to have a little bit of style wonderfully. It's a wonderful contrast to it. We've had this song about the others saying to Mole, you've got to have style, you've got to, you know, if need be, change your ways and be different, and show that you've got this, you know, this kind of style about you. Whereas this song is all about Mole being who he is. This is who I am, take it or leave it. And Auberon, of course, falls in love with Mole's home and Mole's way of living. He's sick of literary soirees, meetings. He's sick of the very thing he's due to go to at Toad's house. he just wants some simple comfort, and that's what Mole can offer. And it's wonderful, and you just feel like, oh, what a way to live, you know. This is I like to live like this, you know, just cosy chat by the fire, tea and cakes. He knows his home inside out, and the home knows him. It's a lovely sort of blurred effect as well around. You see on the edge there, the crockery in the bottom right corner. And that would have been on glass. They would have had a smear effect on the glass, put that in front of the camera. Got a lovely dream-like quality, and of course we've got the dissolves as the transitions between shots. So it's got a lovely soft quality to it. And of course this is available on CD, as is You've Got to Have a Little Bit of Style. So wonderful, they were made available by Keith Hopwood. Look at that animation. Mole's feet going up and down. Auberon just one foot going around like that. Very well observed. Just suggests, you know, a little comfort, doesn't it? It's a little bit slow, isn't it? You know, you could argue that it goes on a bit, but that's the point of it, isn't it? It's this slow way of life that Mole has as well. Reminds me a little bit of an old people's home. It's funny, isn't it? I always think Mole, on one hand, you think he could be an old character, you know. Badger, I think of as kind of grandfatherly, with his glasses, and he's obviously quite old, and Mole almost complements that. But I've said before that in many ways Mole is like a child, an inquisitive child, not the naughty child that Toad is, but the shy, gentle sort of, inquisitive child, with a simple lifestyle. This is a set we don't see too often, Mole's Garden. Nice to see it having here. And here we are at Toad Hall, of course. Mole, ready as ever to welcome his guests, and there's Badger and Ratty in bow ties as well. Badger in his smoking jacket, always nice to see.
Wait for us here, if you please.
And we've got Auberon's chauffeur here, as we can see, another Toad. And they would have used the other Toad puppet that they would have had.
Mr. Toad, isn't it?
Of course, they shot 2 episodes back to back, and they had duplicates of the characters.
It quite reminds me of the summer house at Little Bending, the Duke of Pilling's place.
Summer house?
You know my
He's
cousin.
disgusted with that, isn't he? Summer house.
When I received your very obliging invitation, I was going to refuse. Oh, such a
So just talking about the animation again, I mean, like I say, these were the early days, and it's not quite as sophisticated, but that's to be expected. You know, as the years went by, they got used to the puppets more, but hitting clearer poses with them. For me, a lot of these early episodes are quite busy with the animation in places.
So he is.
You know, almost like the characters are moving more than they need to. So you see gestures with the hands, heads moving around like this, and it just results in a slightly less believable performance. But having said that, there's a wonderful charm about them, which will always ring true of these early episodes. Some people have said a slightly creepy quality, and you could argue that. I have a friend actually who's freaked out by this series, same age as me, so he would have been very young when they were first on TV. He would have been like 3 or 4 years old. Yeah, it just freaked him out. And we're still very good friends now, and he comes round to my house, he's freaked out by all this behind me. He's warm into it though.
I can't thank you enough. I feel a different Mole. You must come and stay with me in Twickenham.
So isn't that wonderful? Their friendship is absolutely solid now. And there's a wonderful later episode, which we'll get to in due course, Auberon's Return. In fact, that'll be pretty much the last episode I'll review, because of where it is. End of winter, about to go into spring.
Goodbye, cousin
There we go, waving goodbye. And that's that. So we feel it's the end of the episode, but I love this little touch at the end. The bell rings, we think, Auberon, has he forgotten something? Who could that be?
Hello, Mo. Just wondered if you might care for a little game of skittles.
I love that. The way Toad is dressed, top hat, completely black tie, and he's just coming out for a game of Skittles. It's just a nice touch, isn't it? You've got like the sophistication there, like Auberon. I'm just coming back. Kind of bookending the episode in many ways, because obviously the Skittles are brought up in the beginning. So yeah, lovely episode. It wouldn't be one of my absolute favourites, but I think it's certainly up there in terms of scripts. I mean, the Rosemary Anne Sisson scripts, I've said before, they've got a certain feel to them, hard to put your finger on it. There's a certain, overall, a slight more of a darkness to them. Not with that one, I think that's a much lighter episode. I guess a bit of darkness in the beginning where Mole feels threatened by the others, but in the end, very nice and happy, very happy episode. And very strong message. I think her scripts did carry very strong messages that perhaps Brian Truman's scripts didn't so much. Brian Truman's scripts were leaning more towards a sitcom feel, where these are more drama, you could argue, I guess. So there we go, Mole's Cousin. I'd love to hear your comments on that one. And I'd love to know if any of you have read the story version of it, or indeed heard the LP version, which was also released on cassette and CD. Actually, there was a CD release of it as well. I've got all versions, of course, being the collector that I am. So yeah, please do keep the comments coming. Next week, we're going back to a typical summer episode, and it's Caught in a Maze. Wonderful episode directed by Barry Purvis. Love that. I love that one. Feels right for the time of the year, bang in the middle of summer. But I am doing a bonus one today for Series 5, so it's come round again. We are 4 weeks since the last one, and very appropriately, actually, just the way it's worked out, it's A Midsummer Night's Disaster. Midsummer was fairly recently, and one of my absolute favourites from Series 5, so please do check that out as well. And thanks again for commenting, subscribing and all of that, and I will see you for the bonus one if you're going to tune into that. Otherwise, see you next week for Caught in a Maze. Thanks a lot and enjoy the summer.